If you're just starting out with Godot, you're probably thinking the same thing I thought, which was, oh, signals, it's just a Godot thing. I don't really want to just focus on just a Godot thing. But it makes it programming in Godot a lot easier. And I'm going to just first of all just give you some examples where it made my life way easier. From simple things like these buttons, all these buttons, just all done through signals, and signals make it a lot easier, to other things like in this 3D scene, selecting and clicking on objects, all done through signals. Signals make it very easy. Do something a little bit more complicated, like this hole, being able to detect when objects enter it or exit it. That's all through signals. Or my little delivery mechanism over here. If you notice how it nicely doesn't crush things that are under each grate, that's all through signals as well. So what I'm going to do first of all is give you a quick rundown on the concept.
Really quick, just the basic concept here. Signals are just going to help us at a specific event send some info. Okay, so I know signals sounds kind of broad, but really, when something happens, send some information. Or when something happens, call some functions, and the functions might be somewhere else. So as an example, let's name this guy. Let's try some cursive. Fred, even though it should be a capital F. Here's Fred, and at some event, let's say Fred runs into a big hive of I don't know, sharks. A shark hive. That makes sense. When that happens, we might want to send information, some signals, to some subscribers. And how do we get that there? We connect them. So we have, if he has a signal, a pre-made one or a built-in one, we can connect it to, not this one, other nodes that have scripts. Okay, we can even send that information back to his own script or to other scripts. Meaning, signal connections give us an opportunity to have one-to-one relationships or one-to-many relationships, where you'd have one event sending info to multiple things, multiple other nodes with scripts. Fred might be the one we're concerned about, but if these other little nodes had signals too, of course, this guy could send a signal to his own script and at the same time to this other guy's script, but no one can help this guy. No one can send him information without this one having a script, not through signals anyway. This can get a little messy, if you can imagine all these signals. So in Godot, it's usually going to be all connected, or all the connections you're going to have are going to be maintained within a single, hopefully smaller scene tree, or a smaller scene, so things don't get too spaghetti-like, if you will.
First way I want you to use signals is just to help you figure out what different nodes are for in the Godot engine. So if I just plop down a random node, I'm going to find one that I've never used before, hopefully something scary. How about proximity group? I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go from inspector to the node, and I'm just going to look at the signals it has. Of course, it has some basic ones that maybe every node has, like if the script was changed, then do something. If the node's ready, do something, blah, 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 blah. If it's exited, if it's entered the scene, whatever. Up here at the top, it has some node-specific ones. And this one only has one, broadcast. All right, so this proximity group, that makes sense. It's called proximity group. It broadcasts something to probably a group. That makes sense. Let's plop down another one. I'm going to do one I use all the time, a static body. All right, so let's see what the static body is even for. I mean, I know, but you might not. So here's some specific things at the top. Oh, this is useful input event. Oh, so maybe if it's clicked, or if the mouse goes over it, something like that. And look, it gives me this information: camera, the input mouse positions, blah 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 blah. Also, mouse entered, mouse exited. Okay, that makes sense. So I kind of know what this node's for. Let me try. How about just a button? Let's see what surprises you might have. So button, I'll look over here at the signals. Oh, we have button down, button up, pressed. So when these things happen, I can connect this to something in a script. So this, not only does it tell you what a specific node might be for, it also gives you hints on how to use it. And trust me, it's going to make your programming a lot easier. The second thing, look at our hair. It's made out of flaps. I didn't notice that before. All right, the second way to use signals is through their built-in ways. And let's look at just like we were just looking at, this girl, she is a static body, and naturally she has some built-in functionality. And what I want to implement in this example is just I want to be able to click on her and have her spin. So I've got her, and she has a script. I emphasized that before. If we want to add some connect signals to herself, then she needs a script. Um, let's go into her scene though. Okay, because she's a static body, and she has a collision mesh thing, a nice capsule I put around her. Now let's try. Let's see, on input event. We double click that, and then what can we connect to? Uh-oh, we can't connect to anything because this scene does not contain any script. So remember, these things are going to be a little bit localized. So if it was all in here, all in this scene, sure, let me see. Can I add a script? Sure, because this has a script. I can add this, not script, but connection, and it will have a receiver method, which I can just let it use the default one, or I usually like to cut out the name. Or if you already have one in mind you want to connect to, like maybe mine is just to toggle spin. How about this? We'll toggle spin anytime the mouse enters. That shouldn't be too complicated. Mouse enters, we will toggle spin. Now I can go back and see this little green thing here. That's telling me there's been a connection. Hip hip hooray. Ooh, oh, it got toggled. Whoop-de-doo. Oh, toggled again. All right, so that wasn't that complicated. That was connected to the editor. And of course, the next thing we got to do is figure out how to connect these signals through code. So we're going to disconnect this, disconnecto, and we can see then in our code that the little green thing is gone. Here in her script, I've added an onPut event, and it's just a little script to see if she has been left clicked. And if she has, we'll toggle this spinning. Not too complicated. Now through code, first we gotta think, when will we connect this? One option I guess would just be when it's ready. That's easy, right? So when it's ready, we will connect. And how do we connect stuff with signals? Oh, the connect function, of course. What do we need first? Oh, we need the name of that signal. Oh, I already forgot it. Let's go look. Girl, let's see, input underscore event. Oh, that's hard to remember, but I can do it. Input underscore event. What do we need next? The target. Well, that's who we're targeting, who's getting the signal. It'll just be, most of the time, it's just going to be yourself, right? Because this is from her to her. It could also be another node, any other node, as long as you have a reference to it. Then we're going to say when that's fired, what function do we want to call? And of course, yeah, I want to call this one I've already prepared. Now, are there any extra parameters I want to add? Nope. Are there any flags I need? Nope. So most of the time, this is going to do it for you. Let's give it a shot. Let's see if this works. Where's the mouse? Oh, click, click. What do you know? Was not too hard at all. Okay, that wasn't too hard. Let's do this. Let's say the user, the player, can only click on her and make her spin once, and after that we'll sever the connection. So first we can be nice and safe. We can say if it's connected, and then we still need to provide that information. If this connection exists from the input event to myself that is connected to this function. Oh, come here, copy paste. There you are. Then, and look here, we have a handy dandy disconnect function, and oh, that same bit of information. So, and if that's not enough information for you, you can also remember control and then click. You can read, for example, maybe you could find out what those flags are for if you're running into trouble, or what you can put into the array. Anything. Well, let's give this a try. All right, here we go. Testing a click and then disconnect. Here we go. Boom. Sorry, that was a little loud. Click again. Oh, it's been disconnected. Okay, cool. With the fourth way we can use signals, we're going to get a little fancier. We're going to make our own signals, and what I want to implement is these lights turning on and off with her spinning being turned on and off. So connect that basically. We'll look at this. Well, I've got some lights here, right? And I've added their own little script, given them a little class name, and then a function. I've already thought about what I want to happen. I want them to know whether or not she's spinning. If she is, put that light energy up. Else, turn it off. Basically, make that light nothing. So defining that, if I can speak, we'll first define it with the signal keyword and the name of the signal. Let's say is spinning. And then we know that this will need one parameter, and we'll call it as spinning. Now, when do we want to emit? I think that's pretty clear. When we toggle spin, we'll toggle this and tell everyone that's connected whether or not she's spinning. So it is, emit signal is spinning. Then next I can give the variable I want to give, and here it's just spinning. And then I'll need to connect it. I can do it through code. Oh, let me get rid of this thing. I want to be able to click it multiple times. We can do it through code, and now this signal will be present in our inspector. And we can see it up here, and I can right click it, connect to the OmniLight. Do I want to just have a new function? No, because I already prepared this function. So I'm going to copy this function name, get rid of this, go back to the girl, disconnect that, try again, disconnect to the light, use my function name that I've already prepared, and put it in there. And then we'll see if this works. Click, click. Oh, interesting. So the red light works, but the green one is it doesn't. Let's check it out. Okay, what was the problem there? If we look at this script, we see that a signal has been connected, and if we look at the light, the second light in its script, we also see the signal has been connected. But actually, we did not manually or programmatically connect them both. We just connected the first one. So let's get the name of the function I want to be executed on the signal, and then put that, get that ready for when I make another connection. Connect it to the second light, give it the function I want to be called, and we can give it a try. Here we go. Look at that, we are now signal masters. Put some more emphasis on just figuring out the built-in signals. You can get away with not making your own signals, but it is good to know and fun. So fun. Cool, you're pretty much done. I will show you, however, how to do that same thing. What we just did, we just connected her spinning to both of the lights. Let me show you a function how you could do that in code. When we're ready, I made a function called connect to the lights. And how is it defined? We just get the parent, go through each of its children. If it is my light, how do we know? What is that, my light? Well, I gave these lights a class name, my light. That's how it knows if it's a light. If it is my light, then connect. And what are we connecting? This signal that we've already defined in this script. The target, which we know is this child in this as we go through all the children, and then we're connecting it to its function spin toggled. So when this happens, this function will be called with that information. What information? Is it spinning or not? Boom, done.
Look how close I get my mouth right to the mic. I have a few more seconds, so I'm going to give you some other resources, some references. The first, your best friend, is probably the Godot docs. Just read through it. I mean, it helps. It helps a lot. The GD Quest, they did a good job, but you have to follow along in a project you have to download, and I'm not really about that, even though they're really clear about everything. And then these two other videos are nice, especially if you kind of like have if you want a more professor kind of guy talking to you. So those are good resources too. But most of all, just experiment around with it. And, you know, the usual, don't subscribe. Yeah. Dumb. What a dumb thing to say.